1.
History beckons tonight. Every player's tried, but some players don't get the success. Like the one and only Charles Sandman Sandfer. 99 times he's tasted victory in this league. One more tonight, whenever that game happens, a ceremony to pop the champagne and get 100. And for Leah, it's a different story. Fighting for her D1 life, hard competitors such as Yepes. She now has one chance to make it happen against the most experienced player, most decorated player in the league. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be an interesting game, to say the least. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Charles Sandfer versus Leah in the Neptune region. It's going to be an interesting game tonight. Like I said, Charles Sandfer looking for history. No player has made it to 100 wins. No player has even touched the records that Charles Sandfer has. 17 series wins, which we'll get into, looking for his 18th tonight. A lot has gone into his career. We'll get to that a little bit shortly. We don't have a schedule tonight. Unfortunately, Short cannot be here. So I'll just kind of read off the schedule and off of memory as we go into the Neptune region. Graphic made by Zach103. Joining me will be Seth as well. But it started off with an intriguing game today. Dark versus Caesar. Dark just was playing that slow style. Caesar was playing as Caesar would, right? Dark did his best to combat with Caesar, but ultimately Caesar just had too much in the tank and won that one 4-1. We unfortunately couldn't get KT Payne due to some things with Payne, and well, apparently G-Man as well had to go. He only had a short amount of time. We were probably duck out of water on that one. We're supposed to resume that one Tuesday at 6 o'clock. That's the plan. That will be the finale of the round as of right now. Things can change, but that is the finale of the round. And then we just had a resumption of Toasty ALP. ALP did a great job getting it back to a Game 7, but it was Toasty in Game 7 with a monster run. That series was just hard to say who could have won, who should have won. A lot of question marks more than answers for sure. So that's it for the schedule. Like I said, we don't have it due to Short not being here. So let's get to some of what Sandfer and Leah have done this year. For Sandfer, 17th ranked player in Super League, he's had a rough year in terms of resume. Got eliminated by JT in a round of 8, which was great in March. Chomik used the split ammo, obviously the DQ win to Eric Monaco, and he lost 4-2. Tough loss to Toaster Guy, but said, you know what? I used that as fuel because he absolutely curb stomped in T4, taking those checks, writing those names down, and cashing them in all the way to the final. He just missed out on that 100th against Tapir. That could have been an insane storyline to put him in the finale, but he did eventually finish 4th as Lane did beat him in the 3rd place game. Of course, Sandfer wasn't really trying in that game. But a great 8-4 season despite a DQ win. He's looking to build that resume and stay afloat tonight. And, of course, for Leah, well, it's been a season full of just hard competitors, right? You play Yepes, DJ Abion a year. That's a hard schedule. Vapor loss. A lot of tough, close games, but never was able to break through. Let's see what she can do against one of the most experienced tonight. This has been updated, this pod. We apologize, but the breaking news on this pod would be obviously Myth 140, Jesse 141. Drip, unfortunately, wish him the best, could not be here for this tournament. Obviously, he's got in real life things going on. Had some priorities to handle, and we wish him the best, man. We looking forward to seeing him back with open arms in 2025 February, and MGR moves on, the creator, so we'll be JT MGR. We'll get that time announced in another week. Winner plays Myth. If Leah wins, Myth gets home. If Sandfer wins, it'll be a rematch of T3, where Sandfer did the business back in June. Let's go to the scene tonight, and on the scene is, of course, is going to be my partner in crime, Seth Cole. We got Art here, the original 3 from the finale that was a T4 in Jungle July, and of course the 2 players, Sandfer and Leah, and some audience members as well. We're going to go start with Sean Ard right here. Ard, obviously acting as the ref tonight, a little bit different scenario tonight. Usually we have a normal round 1 game. The history is on the line tonight. No player has accomplished 100 wins in this league. Obviously this league is a toddler. It's still 1.5 years. It's a toddler compared to most leagues. But the things we've been able to do as a league, the fact that we have a couple guys right now that are doing great in this league at close to 100. We have Sandfer, myself, JT's up there. I think us are the 3 most winningest players in the league. We got a lot of people, Pez, Eli, for example, that are coming back to the front, closer to 80 win. A lot of things have happened. Sandfer's one of the most decorated guys, almost 200 starts. He'll get to that, maybe even in this tournament. We'll see in the regular season. Your thoughts on just Charles Sandfer tonight and what he means to this league? That's kind of the opening question for you. Even forget the box.
Well, you gotta think even if he wasn't one of the original members of the first ever tournament, he has made a name for himself, making multiple Final Fours, multiple finales, and has become one of the main guys of this league. There isn't any question that when you think about this league, you do not forget the name Charles Sandfer. And that's where he's at in this point. If he has made it this far, and he's just that close to getting that 100 game win, it means a lot just in general on how far we've come.
We'll see. We'll go to Seth. Seth, you've known Charles Sandfer since, I don't even know how long you've known. You've known him for a long time. Your thoughts on him as a player?
2013.
Okay, so a solid decade. Thoughts on Charles Sandfer and his Uno accomplishments, man, what he's got to do tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think basically for Charles to just stick to what he knows, right? I mean, it's gotten him up to 99 wins. He's looking for that historical 100th year tonight. I honestly think just don't play out of your comfort zone. He has an incredible knack as well of having like the mental capacity of being able to keep track of cards. I know that we've got systems and stuff now where we're able to spectate, be able to keep an eye on what cards have been played and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's disabled for some of these tournaments with the new bot, but he's got that mental capacity of being able to know what's been played and be able to plan his strategy accordingly. I think that's what gives him a little bit of an added edge no matter who he's going up against. Tonight, I think for Charles, I think it set the tone early. Get that first win, have the momentum on his side. Obviously, he'd be riding the wave of momentum with getting that 100th win, but when you look at the tournament we've got here tonight in terms of player ranking, maybe the biggest lopsided ranking, I guess you could say, number 2 versus a number 15. And the trend so far here as well, and I don't know if the new bot is coming to play into this or not, but the trend so far here in this round of 64 really has been not a lot of upsets. Really, the higher ranking players, the more experienced players, the players that are fighting for slots in the Super League, they've been the ones that have come out on top. We've even seen some sweeps here in the last 48 hours. So the statistics definitely are in Charles' favor, but while we're talking about history, if Leah is able to come out with a victory here tonight, that would be a historic feat in and of itself because Charles, as you say, one of the best here in the series.
It would be, and I think we're going to ask Charles Sandfer. Obviously, Sandfer, I remember when you were getting to 100 career starts, man, not that long ago. This year, in fact. You're not trying to worry about that. Your goal is just to kind of get over with that, get that game over with, right? Get the win, and just focus ahead. How do you focus ahead, right? This is a new bot. We know we don't have a lot of the tools that we love in this bot. It's not on, right? It's card history resolved. We don't have the 4 max command chain, right? We don't have the full version that's souped up. We just got the detuned version. How do you stay focused knowing that history is on the line, but also you can't overlook a player in Leah who anyone can have a chance in this bot? Look what Eric Monaco did against Ghost. He was close. Tells me to it.
Well, in a way, the way that we've got the bot set up now is going to be a little bit helpful for just that comfort level because so far we've only really had the 2 card chain that you could ever really use. So from that aspect, it's nice and easy. There's a slight difference this time with the 100 wins versus the 100 starts. I mean, the 100 starts we managed to blow by and we didn't even realize it because it was in the middle of a game. It wasn't like right off the bat. This one, it's okay, it's that first one no matter what. But I've played a 15 seed already once this year. Probably just try and think about what I did well there and try and make sure that correlates well for whatever I can do here.
I think that's a fair assessment right there. We'll go over to Leah. Leah, obviously, it's been a season to forget, right? Not a lot of stuff has gone right, but you got one chance and one opportunity to stay in D1 by getting the win here tonight and really shaking up the relegation belt. And you're going to be going up to probably the most decorated player in the league. What do you got to do to play spoiler tonight? I mean, it's a new bot. You have tested it. What were some of your first impressions and your thoughts heading into this game? This is going to be an interesting one for sure. Let us know.
Yeah, I'll say I'm honestly very nervous. It's hard not to be, but I'll say I feel very comfortable with the new bot. I like it more than the old one. I think it's easy to set up chains and whatnot. I think it has great smooth commands. I've really enjoyed testing it, so it's going to be fun to go through it in an actual game. I don't know if my expectations are that high, but my hopes certainly are. So I'm going to give it my best shot at least.
That's all you can do. That is all you can do. All right, Seth, I think it's time to get underway. Art as well, so we'll initiate the game. Art, please do the honors. All right, and of course, Sandfer and Leah can, if you want to change your name, Uno name. If not, all good. If you want to ping, Uno ping. But I'm sure you guys are good. Feel free. All right. Cool with me. Art will do the best of 7 now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Art, come on, man. Ref B7. There you go. Power play 1 coming in from Art. TI 221111 coming in for Art here. Ref TI. Yeah. Warming up.
The ref wants it to start in a blue 7.
If that happens, could you imagine? All right, Art.
Oh my gosh.
This is it, buddy. Famous words. You're about to say it to possibly a Centurion. Let's go.
Charles Sanford. How many cards?
God.
It's interesting because I did some research to try and see what Leah tended to go with, and she's kind of like me, like all over the board. So let's start with Crazy Eights.
Crazy Eights for possibly 1 hundo. Here we go. Art's taking care of it. We're underway. Surely Art ready to get it in, and we're underway. Green 6, close to that 7, Seth. We're close. 1 off.
Close. Wrong color, 1 number under.
All good. Well, we'll see how this one goes, Seth. Obviously, you had experience playing on the bot. You and Art, unfortunately, couldn't win the games, but you do have experience now, so let's see how they play. It's a little bit of a different vibe with this bot. Like I said, you can light switch as we go into that right there. And Sanford plays his own card. I think it's only fitting on the possible chance at 100.
Yeah, immediate light switch. And, in the games that I took part in with this new bot and the games that I've been able to observe from the commentator's point of view, for the most part, we've seen a pickup in terms of play from everybody, it seems. Maybe the Dark versus Caesar game this afternoon was an anomaly to the fact, but we'll see what the pace is going to be like here, at least in the early going of this series.
Yeah, that is you were right on that one, Seth. We'll see how it goes. It was an anomaly. Dark taking his time as we go, stuck on his Tapir. Red 4.
Well, let's see what Sanford has here.
Sanford with a little heat check early. Double play. Classic 1-2 punch. We've seen that play multiple times.
That's just one of the classic modes there.
Apologize if there's another stream running. That's something with auto stream. I have no idea. Apologize if that's also being picked up. Cody just ended that. I don't know what that was about. All good now. We'll go to red 8. Leah plays it cool. Here comes Sandfer. And he's out. Okay.
Yeah, Charles kind of bailed Leah out there a bit. Leah didn't have red, and I think the +2 gave her a red card to play. Now Charles out of the red.
Here comes Leah. Goes in the yellow. Does Sandfer get bailed back, though?
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah, first time we've been in that color.
Yeah, for me, held a monkey. First time now. We're starting to run into it. We'll see what Leah will do here. Very interesting so far, early Seth. Sandfer with an early +2. That's all we got on stats. Pretty low here. Not much ammo.
Yeah, so far. Gotta wonder if they're maybe holding something back for a big finish. Charles down to 4 cards, so if he does have ammo, he can maybe, even at this point, put together a run.
You're really taking your time. Remember, max command chain is only 2 on this bot for this tournament only. We'll go back to 4 come Super League.
Yeah, at this point in time, if you've got the ammo, if you're Leah, you're kind of wondering, do I add on more cards to him just in case he might have that run? Then again, you're conflicted. You want to hold on to that card to be able to use it in an offensive capacity if you do have it.
That's what it's all about, or this bot timing, right? Timing is everything. We've noticed on the old bot you can get away with some timing misslips. There's a classic one too, tied the game. Timing is everything on this bot.
Yeah, as you see right there.
Sandfer aggressive on the switching, though. He's going to go into blue. That's the first time we've seen that. It should open up Pandora's kinda, because we've only seen one green, and that was off the start.
Yeah.
Go for it, Seth.
I was just going to say, you talked about that timing there, KT. That was in the final game between me and Alan. That was what it came down to. I had a run to be able to draw it up to a 3-2, I believe it was, in that situation, and he was just one play ahead of me. That happens a lot, it seems, in these Uno series, in these Uno tournaments, where you have something, you're planning for it, and next thing you know, just that one step before you, the other person has that chain. It really is all about timing.
Really is, Seth, and that's what it is, right? Thread the needle. You got to know how to thread the needle, but you also don't want to thread the needle and get burned on the other side. Sandfer goes into a double play, the Mit-Zay combo, and now he starts to get a little gap. Not much, though. Looking for a potentially 2-possession lead, maybe 3 if Leah draws, or has Leah got more in the back pocket. Leah does have something with the lane. Now Sandfer. Did he set it up right with some split ammo? He's learned from Shamik in the past. He's learned from Dark. He's been to the school, but he's got nothing there.
Yeah, I will be interested to see if at some point one of these two end up bringing it back to the green, because we started on green and immediately had the color swap over to the red. I feel like maybe Charles has some green. When he made that color swap, he still had some green to play and just wasn't able to get a path there with the blue 7. We'll see if this 6 here, maybe with some number efficiency.
You're doing a great job earlier, just playing this one cool. Sandfer looking to tie.
Yeah, and I think that's right now what
Here comes Sandfer. Nothing, though. He's wow, he leaves it open.
Leaves it open on the skip.
That's it, though, Seth, for the skips. Blue skips are gone, so you wonder if that's a defensive measure, but risky one, regardless.
It is a risky one, but then again, it's not a terrible one.
Not a terrible one. Definitely better than that +2. How many times have we seen people get burnt to the crisp on that +2?
Oh, too many times. That's one of the cards you don't want to do it.
Probably the one card you don't want to do it on, other than maybe a reverse. Those +2 skips are one thing, but it seems people know how to recognize the reverses a little more, which is a little interesting than the skips. Because it's part of the culture.
+2, he capped it off with the skip, so he at least gave extra cards to Leah to be able to, even if
that is Seth's wild right there. Whoa.
Yeah, playing it to the green. So we're back to the green. I feel like that's a color both of them had and we're both trying to get to.
I think Sandfer had to have some saved up on that Clint green. There's no shot he wouldn't. Nothing?
Ooh, wow.
That's 3 color. This is what Leah needs.
Thought he might be playing possum with that early color swap on the very first play. Apparently that wasn't the case.
No possum from Sandfer. He's got to find some number of fish. Interesting turn of events. He still has nothing.
Oh boy.
Remember, Leah initiated the swap over to green.
There's LaPlante. Sandfer, does he have anything, or is he? Now the problem is, Seth, does he risk a switch?
Exactly.
Does he
If he's
risk it?
got something, I was gonna say, if he has something, does he use it defensively? Leah's down to 2 cards. Does she have a finish?
Leah for the finish to win the game, here to get a game one on Sandford. That'd be a huge storyline already. We saw Eric do it yesterday when he
I feel
got one
like
on
maybe
Ghost.
she might have a +4 maybe on standby there.
No,
No.
nothing.
Ooh.
Low ammo, Seth. You can sense it. And now Sandford's got to be careful. Does Leah have a 4 efficiency? This is a Peter classic. Sandford's going to play defensive. Is that game? Aiden Smith reverse. Is it over for Leah? Looking for game one and definitely change momentum. Still typing.
Yeah, a lot of typing. I think if it was a draw,
That's
I was
it.
gonna say,
Yeah. Well,
yep.
4 greens in a row, and Leah's up 1-0 early.
Wow.
That's a shocker right there for Sandford. Sandford, I got to ask you, man. You know, you played pretty clean on that. I got to admit, man. You did a good job with the +2, but I'm surprised. No greens, so you were just 3-color the whole way. Is that correct?
Yeah, no greens off the draw. The green reverse actually came off of the +2 that she played. I kind of glad I played the +2 when I did, just because, or the red +2, just because had I held on to it, then I would have almost stuck myself into having to play draw on a +2. So I'm kind of glad I didn't do it from that aspect, but it is what it is.
We'll go over to Leah. Leah, great job on ammo control. It's not every day you beat Charles Sandford on less ammo. You only had the wild and a 1+2. Sandford had the control, the skips and reverses. Were you saying, you know, at this point, when you say you can't get too comfortable, have you learned from the past to not be too hesitant, right? Take that read in the sense of the wild, play it while it lies, and then go from there? Is that just some of the learning progression you've learned in the game throughout the year? Let us know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's one thing about it's that you're never safe. Like I've had games turn around. It's been like 3-12, and it's flipped the other direction. Like always be on the lookout. Always be considering what your opponent might play next, and just hold on to what I have and save it for when the time is right. And it turned out with that it was crazy finishing out my blues, and then I was left with 5 cards. One was a wild, and all the rest were green. That seems too good to be true, but in that case, the luck was just it actually worked out.
No, it definitely did. And Seth, I have to say, man, it's hard to really beat Charles Sandford on ammo control, but something's there, right? The cards are organized differently. It's a shopping list, right? It's structured like a shopping list. It's bold. We talked about this with Eric yesterday. He talked about the high praise for this bot on the way everything's organized. You can see it works for Leah right there. She can just run the numbers down and get to a 1-color and basically stick it. And Sandford, I'm surprised, had no green. That just shows you. Definitely a different type of gameplay early on you're going to see. Thoughts on this early game?
Definitely. And you touched on it too. I mean, Leia only had 1 wild and 1 +2. I mean, absolutely no ammo to be able to chain anything together. Just had to rely on the fact that, fortunately for her, Charles had no green and was able to play the number efficiency, so he wasn't able to swap the color over. And I love the mentality that she had there too. I mean, at one point, she had twice the number of cards that Charles did. Charles, we thought, could be very easily in run territory, but she kept her head in the game, didn't give up, and we ended up seeing how it played out here at the end. So I'll tell you what, with what they were able to do with the limited number of ammo they had in this game, I'll tell you what, give them some +4s, some wilds, some more +2s. My goodness, we're going to be in for a very interesting game if that ends up happening.
Amen. So, already you mentioned it. You talked about this yesterday in the control room a little bit, and privately, he's like, KT, I think this is the one bot. This is the first time saying this. You need less ammo to win games. You need like you can't have to. It's always, Seth, I think, talked about that one time. I think on a stream. You're in ammo paradise, and you start overthinking. Do you think we're starting to get back to the old school sense of you just need the right amount, not too much? Art?
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing here, and that's kind of what is gonna be the key factor here, maybe. And yeah, this happened a lot during my game where less ammo is gonna maybe be your advantage, and we've also seen that in other games. So who knows? This could be one of those sorts of series.
We'll see how it goes, Seth. Definitely some intriguing things. Let's see what Leah has to say. You want to read that, Seth? Go for the fans.
Yeah, Leah saying that she forgot to say never get too comfortable applies to overall match stats too. The last match that she had started with a win and was followed up with 4 losses. Head very much still in the game, and yeah, that's the thing too. You cannot get too comfortable here, even if you're up 3-0, because I can't tell you the number of times we've seen reverse comebacks. It's happened more often than not here, and so even when you got that 3-0 and think you're just one step away from victory, you gotta keep your head in the game.
Long way to go, Seth. You know how these things go. Art knows for sure. All right, Art. I think we're ready to go to game 2. Same thing, open board. Let's get it going.
Charles Sandfer, how many cards?
Well, you know me. I'm not going to go back to 8.
Of course.
About 11.
We'll
11.
go up a little bit. 3 up. Sanford, Leah, ready to go? Art at the disposal. Here we go. What will we get? This is H skip. We'll see H tomorrow.
Ooh.
Well, your mic's on, by the way, just in case you wanted to mute that. You're all good. Sure, you got to lock in here. But yeah, Seth, this is an interesting part now. We've seen a lot of people, as Sanford goes to the Allen 9, would run that skip. We saw it with Toaster Guy ALP. They were running crazy mad with the skips, and they were just playing into it on the first card. Sanford, though, very composed. Just play it cool, feel it out. It's the right move.
Must be with me in the commentator's booth, because I think we've had at least 3 or 4 occasions here this past week where we've ended up having a specialty card, whether it be a skip, a reverse, or a +2, and the person that plays the first card just goes with a number, just plays it cool. So I guess the aggressive level is when I'm not up here in the booth.
Yeah, we've had, we talked about a lot of these stream games have been really good. Man, we've had some pretty bad games on non-streams, except for you, Peter. I think Seth Allen was good, from what I understand, even though I wasn't here. But I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen right here, Art, because Sanford now on the back foot a little early, not going to be out of it. This is where he usually cooks under pressure. Let's see if he continues. Remember, Super League's on the line for Sanford. Leah's just trying to get a relegation as we go into that 56 off Sanford's card.
Yeah, that's just the difference here, and we're already starting to see the lines being drawn here.
Sanford right now doing a good job of just playing it clean here into the color, not switching. Leah aggressive early, trying to play this one clean as well. Remember, 11 cards, a little bit more. Not going to go as quick as that first one off the initial draw, but we'll crescendo. Leah aggressive on the switching, Seth. We've seen light switching hasn't worked so far. Let's see if this works out.
Yeah, very interesting. Not too long after swapping from the red to the yellow, immediately over to the green. And I don't know if this is to try and keep Charles on the back foot, or if indeed she has run out of the red and the yellow and might be on a 2-color hand right now.
We'll see what Leah will do here. Great job trying to play a little aggressive on colors, right? It's the good thing, Art. One thing I say about playing aggressive on colors is we go back to double ALP. You're not giving cards the art direction. That's the key. Timing. Gotta know when to give those cards the art direction.
Yeah, and that's gonna be that's something that some people kind of forget with this new buy. Because now you can't just give a bunch of cards and it becomes well in your favor like the old bot. This new bot's gonna, if you get cards, you better be ready to receive cards.
Well, we'll see who receives some cards here as we go into blue. Sanford
I was going to say we were getting down to 6 cards apiece. You had to feel we were going to start to see some ammo emerge.
Sanford throws a 1-2 heater right there off the start to start the ammo train.
Interesting he uses the +2 there. One would have to assume that, He may not have another +2 to be able to chain to another color. Question is, did he play the +2, then the 4 to finish out that color and be looking for a color swap here on his next play?
Leah has just mentioned, Seth, I don't want to get too comfortable in this game. Let's see if Leah has something in the fire. No
Yep.
+4s yet so far. That's a
Ooh.
regular, though. Wild. Back to red.
Over to the
Sandfer,
red.
ironically, had red 6 the last card he played.
Yep, and Leah was the one that made the swap from the red over to, I believe it was the yellow, so you would have to assume Charles has something, which he does.
Leah, I think, going to go aggressive here, Seth. I think that wouldn't be a wild if it wasn't foolproof right here. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Foolproof.
There you go.
Called it.
So there's the reasoning for the swap over to the red, hitting the double on the +2s. And bringing it back to the green as well, which was the color that Charles swapped off to go to the blue. So we'll see with this added 4 cards now of Charles if he was out of green and maybe got some greens there on that 4 extra cards. Looks like he does.
Sandfer always one of those guys to test early. Let's see. Usually likes to test once or twice, see if they have the greens. Or any color in that situation, Ard. One of the best at testing. As the math teacher does.
It's always something that you gotta do
Good
here.
move. There it is. That's the went to that first progression, Seth, right on the green. Let's go back to red, see if it's truthful. Does Leah have trip 7, though? No, has red. Okay.
How about that?
So that's interesting from Leah right there. Saving up some reverse in the tanks, right? Reserves in the tank on the color. Looking for Uno now.
Yeah, interesting. Played that red +2 to the green +2, but to your point, kept some red in reserve here.
Got it.
And
Double
wow,
Zach. Okay.
How about that?
Interesting.
What could that final card be? What does Charles do here? I mean, you'd have to think if he's got ammo, like a +2 or +4, you'd have to play it now, right? You don't want to be at a 2-0 deficit.
Remember, Sandfer can't do anything on power play, Art. It's just all natural now. Let's see.
Yeah, this is mostly going to be
Think
where
stop.
can he go with this?
Think stop. Sandfer, with no card history available, 100% is just going to scroll up and see where he can make a read set, but it's not hard. It's not easy to make a read. We've only been in the game in 5 minutes. It's hard to make a read early.
Right, and both of them have initiated color swaps as well.
And the yellow, Sandfer risking.
The yellow.
That game.
Is it game or we play on?
It is game. Wrong color.
Gosh, got the color she needed.
Unbelievable. Leah takes the homestand.
50-50 shot.
Sandfer, yeah, talk us through it.
Wrong point. Well, I mean, I had 2 2s.
Oh.
The only play I really had. So, it was either that or go back to green. So.
Happens, man. I got to say, Leah, great job on just playing composed. And right now, what's been the turning point is that wild control and baiting Sandfer back. Talk to me how you've been able to learn some looks, and do you think the card organization is playing into your favor right now? Talk us through it.
I'll say, I think it's not you can't discount the luck and just the good fortune in a win like this. But I'll say, I think probably the most important element I've had is just holding on to parts of my hand that could come in handy later. Like at the very start, I had cards of all 4 colors, but I decided I was going to start aggressively switching the color as much as I could, make him think I didn't have as much as I did. So then whenever I'd switch something back, I'd have something in my back pocket.
Yeah, it's interesting, Art, right now. It's weird, man. Because we don't have a +4 on the board, right? Sandfer didn't have much. Leah didn't. It's very low ammo. It's coming down to pure skill right now. I don't know what to say. And we've been so used to a lot of ammo in the past in the first 80% of the season. Now we basically touched on it before we got to this game. Sometimes you don't need as much ammo to win on this bot, and it's playing out right now. Thoughts early. This is interesting. 2-0. How does Sandfer come back? He's on the ropes now, for sure.
Look, there's something that you gotta think about here. If there's one thing you don't say, you don't count out Charles Sandfer here, and he's not gonna just think he's down for the count. We got a long way to go. It's just right now the first two games, he just couldn't get the job done there, and luckily for Leah, it worked out on that side of the board. It's just something interesting, something very interesting to just point that out, though.
It's weird, Seth. I mean, we have a lot of zeros and no +4s. Leah has no skips and reverses. It's even on +2. It's been low. I mean, you gotta think though. He's built for these pressure moments. Where do you think he's got to adjust, if at all? Because Leah's starting to smell that upset, right? When you start going down to a 215, that 15 starts getting a game win or two. Things can change. Thoughts on what you're seeing right now? How does Sandfer adjust? He's going to be one of the best of adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am not sure how he's going to adjust. I'm sure he's got a contingency plan in place, but yeah, I mean, the fact that 0-2 at this point, Leah so far been able to have that little bit of luck there at the end of the second game, both of them with super low ammo, to your point. I mean, this has come down to just, playing the right cards at the right time. And Leah mentioned it as well about the fact she's been kind of keeping the right portion of cards for the right moment in time and has been very aggressive on the color swaps to her own, admission. I honestly, I don't necessarily know if I'm Charles, if I'm going to go maybe a little bit more offensive than I've been doing in these first two games. I don't know. Maybe that puts you in a bit of a spot where you're not necessarily in your comfort zone. It will be interesting to see how he plays this next game here. I don't want to necessarily say this is a must-win situation for Charles in game 3, but I mean, they both still got the power play in place here, and unless we end up getting a lot more ammo than we've had here in these first two games, as far as the low ammo is gone, it's been on Leah's side.
We'll see what happens, Art. For the first time in a long time, Leah up in a series. It's been a while. We'll see what she'll do here in game 3. No 8 and 11. Let's find out. Thanks, buddy.
Oh man.
Are you going to break one out?
We got sponsorship.
Appreciate that. Drink from Roger. I kind of got the blueberry. All right.
We thought the games were fast-paced before. Wait till it happens now.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, it doesn't increase pace.
It's Sandfer.
Okay.
He's going to have some in the back pocket. Let's get it going, Art.
All right, Leah, you cannot pick 8 or 11. So how many cards?
Leah? Okay. Well, I guess I'll kind of fill some dead air to maybe I have to step out real quick.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, it is a mystery. Real quick, or let me know if she gets back. I'm just gonna remember scroll into the pod. Just remind the fans here. Remember, winner of this game, we'll play. Oh no! Please be internet, not Discord. Please be internet, not Discord.
Okay, sorry. I think I'm back. Got a bit of a storm going over here.
Oh, thank God.
Let's take a quick
class. That's it. That's internet. AD.
Thank God. We do not need a Discord out of Seth. We've been through the ringer this week.
Yeah, I know.
That is not what we need. All right. You're good. Just no 8 and 11.
8 and 11?
Right.
You can't pick any.
Take it to a classic 7.
All right, we'll go one down from the 8 that she won in game 1. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
And there he is, Fitzy to start us off, the legend. Well, Seth, you said it's not a must-win for Sandfer, but you got to think in the back of his mind, got to do something a little different right here. Let's see. Leah's doing a great job of finding every answer on low ammo. And like I said, both players have to adjust to this new bot. The initiation phase is over. Now we're going to see a real game right here. I think we're going to still be in for a... There we go. That's exactly what Sandfer needs right off the bat.
Yep.
That's what he needs.
And you got to think with 7 cards start, going to be at least at the initial get-go here, low ammo for both.
Sandfer doing a good job to not play into anything special, just play it normal. Leah looking for the tie as well, though, right here. Sandfer, though, would get possession arrow. Leah taking a time here, Sean. Let's see. Nothing.
Wow. Thought maybe with the
Yeah.
amount of time it was taken there, we might see a swap over to a different color, but not the case.
Sandfer
Oh,
double
there you
monkey combo. Okay.
Perfect. Ditto play.
That's what he needs. It's exactly the start Sandfer needs right here.
Yeah, Sanford needed that big run here, and he's right now getting it.
It's more momentum for sure. Just not trying to be. Don't be silly. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Well, that's it. Leah gets back to the OG, and we're going to finish it off right here. Double Gerard action.
Double Gerard. Wow.
What? Set that double plus 2?
Double
No,
plus 2
no,
on the
no.
last 2
Hold
draws.
on a
Wow.
minute here.
And
That's
how about
insane.
how about the patience to not play the plus 2 drawn on that first one to be able to then get the second one to chain the two of them together?
Well, that's interesting, Sam. I mean, Art.
Hmm.
Okay, now. Well,
That's really interesting.
the only good thing here, Seth, is we're done with the plus 2s in yellow. That's the only good thing.
Yep.
That's it. It's about the only good thing. No, you never do, but Sandfer remember, he's been in the Super League before. He saw someone do this in the past as Zay joined us. He's not one to really push it back unless something stupid happens. See if he just closes the door. This could turn to a war real quick, Art. We'll see. Well, there you go. 6
Yeah.
cards to you. Okay, he will do that. So now it's
Yeah,
a resetter. Game's been reset, Seth. 100%.
Yep. Gets it swapped over to a color of his choice as well, going over to the blue now.
Incredible, man.
That will bail Leah out because we know that she obviously was out of yellow.
Yeah, I don't mind that call. I don't mind that. Right? You gotta try something different down 2-0. But Leah at the same time though, extra 6 cards, right? Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Well, this is what we talked about. We did fear this, Ard. We did say if it turns into a shootout, who can win the shootout? Right? We didn't say that so much on the broadcast, but me and you privately did say about this game. If we get into a shootout with some, yeah, there it is. This is Toaster ALP, right? Now we're starting to turn to Toast ALP, where it's going to go Crack Show City. Leah for the lead right here.
Somebody get the popcorn out on this one.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Sandfer is back with 6. Oh no. This is turning into a war.
We got a war on our hands.
Oh my word. This is a quince play to get back to single digits.
At
Oh,
least.
and it's going over the green.
Well, that don't matter. The color don't matter now, Seth. We don't know what they got. It's out of
not
control.
anymore.
Mostly whatever playbook they had, it's mostly
over.
got chunked out the window.
It's
out.
interesting. I mean, I don't know if Leah had any more
check.
blue, but said the desperate times call for desperate measures. It was a 14-9 card difference there. And Leah's up 2-0, so I don't know if it was necessarily a time for desperation. We'll see if that pans out, because that's a lot of ammo gone now.
Well,
Right.
let's see how it goes now. We're going to find out how it goes, because with these guys, we have no idea what's happening. We have no idea. Plus 2s are out of the wazoo here. We still have more that could go on green. Aggressive now.
So she did have blue still, but elected to go over to the red +4 to put that chain together.
Sandfer
We'll see how that's going to play out at the end, because I'm going to be very interested to see, at the end, what kind of cards Leah's going to have. That was a lot of ammo that could have been saved for the end of the game.
This is where the experience starts to come into play, Seth. When that ammo gets low, so obviously Sandfer's still too far back to do anything with experience right now. He's still a long way to go, but you start thinking about Sandfer. Once it gets to 5 cards, you start to think about it. We still got a long way to go. Leah's getting to 5 cards, though, really quick here.
Yep.
Back to red, playing some light switching. Remember, red, we just saw a red +2 and a skip, so
Yes, we did.
plenty of numbers out there to go. All right, right now, this is interesting. This is Sandfer. You know, he's got to start thinking, is there a run in the back pocket? Do you use maybe a feeler to get back to another color to play some number of fish? Do you think there's ISO tactics? This is a game he's been familiar with. He's played toaster guys. He goes ALP now.
Boy.
And Seth, you got to think Sandfer has the experience in this game. He's played, as we go into the cap eyes, he's played toaster guy. Toaster guy is one of the best at doing this. Crazy
Right.
cracked out. Both running the greens now. Let's see what Leah will have. Plays it cool. Sandfer now looking. Ditto play. There's a ditto. First one in a while, Seth.
Yeah, I think we had our last ditto play was in the last game. Charles with a ditto red 3 in that one. Ooh.
That's defensive. Sanford's going to like that a lot.
Yeah.
That could definitely be a warning sign out of green right there. I think Sanford's liking that right there. Or he likes where he's at now for sure. When you see that green 0 that late, you start to think about it right there. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that is a sign that Sandfer likes to see a lot of the time, so he might take that into his advantage here.
Yeah, you don't got to sweat right here. I think he's in a good spot. He knows that green, right, he could be out. He likes where he's at. This is what he needs, some momentum.
And remember all the ammo cards that Leah played. Charles is only, I was going to say, he's only played a blue +2 so far here in this game, and there's the ammo
+4.
right there.
Yep, good +4 there from Sandford just to protect a possible trip move there. But the good news here, Seth, is no +2s in yellow. Neither's coming, right? So this is
correct.
Exactly what Sandford needs right here. Don't force anything. Play it clean right here. Let's see if Leah does anything, though. Nothing, just ties it.
Charles made the swap over to the yellow with the +4. How much longer does he run with yellow? Does he maybe try and go over to another color?
I mean, it'd be
Or
risky.
does he have some of the green still in reserve? It pretty much, well, I was going to say, it looked like at least before the +4 was played, like Leah was out of green, but now with the +4 might actually have some green now.
I think Leah's doing a good job out here, despite that early rash of ammo, just trying to play colors tonight. The question is the switch. When do you switch? That's the key.
Yeah, that's something that you gotta really take into effect here.
Sandford looking to get down to 4. No, that's not a game checker. That's just the
No.
Okay.
That's just a look.
Look there. Let's see. Gets rid of that last potential yellow. Red had not seen that last +2, so this isn't over by any means. Leah could still be holding that. Still
And
+4s
we weren't on
out
red
there.
for very long outside of the very beginning of this game. We had a cup of coffee in red about the midpoint of this game, and then immediately went over to the yellow.
Yeah, Leah feel. I think Leah's starting to understand Sandford. Though he could have a finish right here any moment. So
Yeah.
let's see. That could be a heat check card. Let's see.
Could.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, not a finish. Interesting. Okay.
So the Leah still has an opportunity here to fire back if she wants. So give some life to Leah. Sandford, excuse me, still at 2. Gotta think here if any ammo would have to be potentially right now. Ard, we'll see. Sandford winding it down, trying to get this win. Oh boy.
Oh. That might be a bad sign, I think.
Well, we're gonna find out. That can usually mean 2 things. Just gonna dump and pump the ammo or leave it open on a +2 or something. I don't know.
Oh no.
Goes to the KT Classic?
Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo.
Oh.
I don't know about that one.
It was a fair play and wouldn't have been a bad shout.
+4 finish?
Yeah, that might be +4.
Probably would be. You'd have to think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. And that's it. Charles Sandfer finally gets the 100th game win, and he took a while, but he finally got it.
Wouldn't have been a bad shot if it wasn't for the fact that I had 2 of them that Leah gave me.
Whoa. So
Mm.
that Seth, you nailed it, right? You said it. Was that too early?
Yep, exactly.
Let's go over to Leah before we get to the ceremony. Well, Leah, I'm gonna have to think that the move we're all wondering. Why did you play it early? Did you just sense that double +2? If you did actually draw 2 +2s and yellows off the draw, which is kind of insane. Why leave it open there? What was the reasoning and just the pump? You were doing good the first 2 games, but you decided to go aggressive. Was that just a tactical thing? Talk me through it.
I think the way I was sitting there was just I didn't like how much we were firing back and forth. I didn't like how much we were firing back and forth. I didn't like how Sandfer was sitting at the numbers advantage. I figured I'd throw out what I had. It ended up not paying off in the end, but it was a risk worth taking in my eyes.
Okay, I think it's fair, Seth. I guess that did prove your point, though, right, Seth? Where sometimes when you're up, right, you did say earlier, stay on the gas, don't get your head out of the game, but maybe a little bit too much on the throttle, right? Balls to the wall, as Sandfer said.
Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit. I mean, I understand, wanting to have the card advantage, but that was, obviously hindsight's 2020. We now know that was the midway portion of the game. That could have, maybe been just a few minutes away from the end of the game. We didn't know what the future was going to hold. But in terms of especially using the +4 that early on, you saw Charles saved his for the very end to be able to get that finish. I kind of feel like if you were going to use the +2s, use the skips, use the reverses like Leah did, don't use the +4 to get over there. Wait and see if maybe some number efficiency gets you to that color and hold that +4 for the very end. We saw in hindsight now it ended up giving Charles the ammo he needed to be able to have the big finish.
Okay, that's interesting. I was just got an email saying we're now a guild server. Interesting. I guess you guys can click on that now. That's new. Regardless, thank you, Discord. They must have heard me. Anyway, Sandfer, before we get to the ceremony, was that a game of just you felt more of the patient style? You had played Toasty in the past. Remember, Toasty guy is the one guy you would say in this league cracked out, or the ALP, cracked out right, going to throw out pump and dump, and still make it work. Did you just say, you know what, at some point that's going to come out, and did you use that experience from back when you played him in round 1 and back in May that ultimately won the game for you, that patience? Talk me through it.
There was the patience for sure. Part of it also was once I had both the 2 +4s and the 2 skips that came from, I think, the +6 in there somewhere. It might have been something else, but basically once I had that, I kind of knew, okay, I've got 3 colors as well. I can kind of play this a little bit chill. And the numbers also helped by being like all different. So I'm like, yay.
Okay, so more connecting, finding a little bit of enthusiasm. I got you there. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's get to that ceremony. All right, here we go. I wrote this up earlier. Charles Sandfer, the Centurion. Charles Sandfer becomes the first player in the league history to count for 100 regular season wins and counting in his young career in the league. Sandfer has made a lot of history so far as a Super League 2023 player, and below will be his career history. As said, Charles Sandfer has a double silver medalist, right, back in 2023, the old summer recharge, where he finished second to Varigold, and then he lost to Yepes in the finale in the college team, the one and only conference tournament in league history. He now boasts a 17-8 career series record. He now got his 100th win. Congratulations to Charles Sandfer. And I think it's 70, 71 or 70. I'll check that real quick. Let me just get a live update here. I think
it'll be 72 losses technically with the 2 there.
Okay, 170. Okay, 172. Gotcha, not a problem there. And let's see what else he got. He has 2 finales, of course, 3 Final Fours, 4 Elite Eights, 5 Sweet 16s, and is the all-time series leader. So there's 2 different categories in the league. There's series, and then there's the individual games. He has 17. No one's close to that. other than myself, I believe. I think we're the top two at 17 and 16.
It's me at 17, you're at 16. Turner's actually at 15 as well. So.
JT, yeah, I think our top three. And Sandfer boasts a 58.1 career win percentage. Pretty good for Charles Sandfer. And on behalf of everyone in the league, we congratulate Charles Sandfer on being a 100-time winner and moving the game forward in what has been a short yet very soon to be Hall of Fame career. Those are Hall of Fame numbers, and those are rookie numbers for him. But Sandfer, congratulations, man. Floor is yours, man. What has this league meant to you? Obviously, you are a commission member. You know, you've made every single, okay, except the first bracket in history. You've made every single bracket from when you joined the league in T2 all the way up to the second.
Technically not even that one, but yeah. From T2,
yeah, I made the first one like a bozo. But regardless, 2nd to 10th regular season, so you've made everything. You've done a lot. You've been a valued member. What has this league taught you? And your success. Obviously, we know you had a terrible, disastrous Super League last year. But other than that, in the regular season, you're still one of the best. Talk us through. Yeah, we don't talk about that. That's why it's regular season only. Playoffs is different. But your thoughts on the league, man? 100 wins. Congratulations.
I mean, it's the league, at least from my aspect, has been a nice way of giving me somewhere to like kind of chill out a little bit, play a nice card game at least, not have to be worried about being too competitive about it, even if I have these insane records right now. But yeah, just being a part of a team, being able to create, find another use of Excel spreadsheets that I have so many of on my computer now. But yeah, just it's been fun. Here's to the next 100.
Yeah, man, and talk to me about just one other question too. You know, you talked about the experience in this league. Obviously you're a commissioner. What has made you about the growth of the league? When we were playing, man, when you first came into the league, you had the likes of Dark Rain as a stud. You had KT, right? The shiny objects. We were the shiny guys. Now we got a lot of young studs in the league. We got Bad Brad, world champ Ashley. We got Tapir, who came out of the Wazoo. Right? Talk to me about the growth of the league in terms of the new players coming in and what you've learned from them, as you've done a great job to get to this step.
I think the astonishing part has probably been the exponential growth of it. The fact that when I started, it was 23 people.
About there. Yep.
And then we had already like doubled that by the end of the year. And then starting off with over 100 people that were at least just interested. I was kind of dumbfounded. I didn't expect that at any point. And to be a part of that has definitely been a nice, intriguing balancing act, to say the least.
Oh, it really has, man. It really has been a journey, man, right? It's not about the final destination, it's about the journey, and we do once again congratulate Charles Sandfer. Real quick, guys, as we'll go into the Sandfer pod, there it is. There's the new role. The only guy, the only member of the 100 win club. It's just one and only, Mr. Lonely. Not you, Nom. It's Sandfer tonight, but
I'll let Nom keep the Mr. Lonely. He can have that one.
Yeah, he'll have that one, but you're the one and only for now, my friend. Congratulations, definitely deserved. One last time, Charles Sandfer.
Oh,
Nom's wondering why you threw it out to him on stream like that.
It don't matter, man. We're good buddies, but regardless, yeah. What's up, buddy?
He's the only guy who's lonely.
Oh well, damn.
Not go there.
Damn. Well, we're gonna have a little fun, right? We're actually, ironically, he's gonna become the first rookie to ever get to 100 stars. Seth and I, when we were doing the finale, we didn't say that, no rookie, right? But yeah, Nam will be the first rookie. Obviously, Brad was on bio, and Ashley probably would have been there first if she had played T4, but he'll be the first official rookie. Ashley had 99 starts. All right, well. Ceremony's over, Seth. It's back to reality now. Sandfer now he's got that 100th out of the way. What does he got to do here in Game 4? Now that's a whole different scenario. Now you got to get locked back into Super League and try to keep your dreams alive. Talk me through it right here. What's the mentality shift after a ceremony? You've been in ceremonies right that mid game where someone has a curtain call. How do you get back into that rhythm? Talk me through it.
Just keep your foot on the gas. If you're Charles right now, you've got that momentum shift. You feel like we heard from Leah that she tried to do something a little bit different there, maybe kind of draw it back a little bit, go back to the fundamentals that we saw her display in the first and second games. For Charles, I mean, with what we saw right there, we saw what he was able to do with holding on to that ammo late. Depending on what we see, had some rather low card starts here so far. We had a 7 and an 8 wonder if they'll start dipping their toes into some higher card counts here, see a lot more ammo distribution.
All right, let's get to the ammo distribution question. We're about to find out. Will we get that higher card start? Do the honors for Leah in game number 4? No, 8-11. Here we go.
Leah, 8 and 11 is still off limits. How many cards do you want?
Let's double last games. 14.
Double O's. Here we go.
14. Okay.
Well, this is what you said, Seth. Now the ammo should start to fly and go, and we're going to start it off with the WB Yellow 1, William Brock. Well, we'll find out now, Seth, because this is the true testament. You can win those games on those smaller card starts, such as 8 and 7. We had 11, starting to get up there. This is the first true test of that unlimited stars. We go into that Austin Rogers Yellow 4.
Yep, and now we'll start to see just how long they wait to be able to pull the trigger on whatever ammo they might have had distributed here on the initial draw.
Charles Sandfer now. He'll go into his first card as a 100-time winner. His first card is the Mihail Yellow 8. Let's see what he can do now. All that momentum, can he carry that in? It's a big weight off the shoulders, all right? You get that win. You don't got to worry about when's that next win coming. It makes you play a little easier now, rest of the night, for sure.
I think now for Sandfer, it's just about trying to get the momentum to go into, just keep going here. That's what he's got to do here for the rest of this series. If he can start getting that run, we might be in here for a long one.
Well, no run there, but an early switch, Seth. This has been a possible thing Sandfer likes to do, right? A little early fade look and see if maybe at the back end a yellow will pop in. We'll find out.
Yep, we've ended up seeing him do this already before, where he's made a swap but still had cards of a color that it was currently on. So yeah, we'll see if this is still going back to that same page of the playbook or if this is a different look.
We'll see the page of the playbook down the road. Blue 9 in from Leah. Can Sandfer find the rhythm? We talked about this, Sard. Sandfer is one of those guys that to find a rhythm, he needs to get a spark. He got that win, and you can see the confidence building. But Leah's doing a good job on control as it goes into that DJ Curse another 1-5 all night. Dolly Parton special.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been seeing that, so it's going to be interesting to see here what could be happening.
I see the reason for the gift, the 9-5. All right.
Classic from Sandfer, and he goes into a classic double play.
It better when I was typing it in.
It did. Hey, we missed there a little bit. It's all good.
Oh,
God. Did you cut that out? Anyway, regardless, red 4 there from Leah. We'll go a double up from Zach into Tapir. The Tower. We'll see the Tower back next week.
Cut it out. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Of course you can. All good. Regardless, though, let's see. Set tie game, getting back to the obviously round 1. You can have a little more fun compared to the other rounds, but right now 8-8. We talk about crescendo moments in a game. We haven't seen one yet because the ammo has been low. Other than that game 3, where even then it didn't feel like we had a crescendo moment. We might be in for store for one right here.
Yeah, you're right. We really haven't. I mean, really, the first 2 games, it came down to the number efficiency, and then we had the +4 finish there in game 3. But you're right, we've not really seen like a huge string of cards to finish one of these out yet.
It's just a really interesting moment right here, Ard, because Sandfer is continuing this classic 1-2 combo play. You got to think here, this is maybe what he wants. He wants to get Leah in a pinch. We'll find out. Let's see what Leah will do right here. Seth Cole Wild. Okay, well, this has been a popular move for her all night.
Yep.
Problem is, Seth, it's Pandora's open now. It just opened up Pandora, so this should help Sandfer.
Yeah, first time in the green. Now, granted, not like what we had the last time that she tried to play the offensive and played the +4. May have something reserved here. Whoa!
Deja vu. No green again for Sandfer.
Well, the question is, does he have a green and maybe doesn't want to play it? If you've just got maybe a skip that goes to nowhere or a +2 that goes to nowhere, maybe your best bet is to draw. I find it really interesting if Charles didn't have any green since we haven't even gone to that color yet.
Gotta be a fade look set. This may have sideburn trim right there. We'll see. Leah, though, we'll have a green, maybe two right here. Just one. The Brian. Now, this is the litmus test right here, Seth. Do you switch the color? He's gonna go
There
for
it is. Yep.
Okay.
He's gonna swap it.
Hadn't seen yellow in a hot second though. I don't know. This is interesting. Remember, Sandfer switched off that yellow. Yep. So Sandfer now behind after that draw, but usually you would think, Seth, he may actually be telling the truth here. He might actually have no green.
Could
That'd be
very well
crazy.
be.
That could be crazy.
Could very well be.
To have 2 out of your 4 games with no green, still be able to win this game, that would be a
That's nuts.
that's definitely getting it done. That's the EXP points coming in. Get a video game. Make sure you bump up Sandfer's EXP to 99. But regardless, here comes Leah. Let's see what she can do on this yellow. We always talk about Charles Sandfer under pressure. Leah has the lead with possession arrow, looking to extend it. Sandfer on the back foot right now off the greens possibly, but that's all I can look at. Leah's run every color. Looking for 4, maybe 3. Taking her time right here. Let's see. Another Seth Wild?
And back to the green. Wow.
Seth, this is it. This has to be it now. If you're Sandfer, there's no holding back. If does he have it or is he really dry? No, he did have something. Okay.
So he had the skip and he had a green 6.
So there's the answer to that question. Now the answer to the question I think everyone's waiting for. What does Leah have in reserves? Is this a fade to look to possibly get this down to 2? Let's see. Leah, no, nothing still. Just playing it clean. Intriguing from Leah. Sandfer looking to get the 2 himself. Does he have anything? It's all about the numbers now right here, Seth.
Yes, I'm looking back to see. So Charles made the initial swap from the green over to the yellow via the yellow 9. Okay, now he goes over
not
to
a
blue.
game, though. That's not a game winner.
No.
It's not a game winner. Only to get the check. That's intriguing right there, Seth. That usually Sandfer's the best at just finishing it off, so he's going to play aggressive here.
And he gave Leah 4 cards. The question is, does Leah have something to be able to bring him back from that Uno?
+2s are wide open, too, Seth. Wide open. Wide open. You don't even need a +4 here. +2s are clean. Maybe a little chain on the skips reverses with a +2 in between. Get some pressure back. We'll see. Plenty of ways to skin the cat, or just not a classic green wild. That'd be some.
I was going to say, maybe even like have an 8 to get it back to the green, because I think at this point, I think Charles would be out of green.
Unless he has an 8, though, back pocket. Always got to remember that.
True. Could have that number efficiency planned.
Peter Onjak knows that too well. I think Leah's going to find something here, but doesn't have anything.
Ooh.
Is that what Sandfer needed? Did he play it clean? No.
No.
That was a bold call right there from Leah. Great job understanding that look into M right now. Fellow Kentucky native. That's a risk, though, but that's green. That's fine.
It is green. It is green. You're right.
Unless Sandfer got a top deck. He got a top deck. Okay.
Oh, he did.
What's lurking in that green, though? There's got to be something else lurking in that green, for sure. Nothing. It's a game. Sandfer, does he have green? No, he doesn't, though.
No,
He
he
got
doesn't.
no 4. No green. So that was running it clean. Now Leah's looking to tie. Nothing. We're going to draw ISO City.
boy.
Sandfer's content now. Now he's content.
Now it comes down to what you might get on the draw.
Great job from Leah right there. Sandfer, I don't want to say rushed the finish, but definitely could have played it a little bit differently, possibly, Seth. We'll have to keep that in the back of our minds. Next game will be delayed again due to this, as always. We've been on flight delays the whole tournament, really. Lee is still in draw city now. Wait for R to get back. I think he's still muted. We'll wait for him to make the call on that. I'll wait for Leah to make a play, and I'm going to check what's good with his log. You cannot rise above your opponent. Drag them down to your level. Interesting. Seth, endurance battle coming in now for sure. Almost 10 minutes here. Definitely an endurance battle.
Yeah, we're at a bit of a stalemate here, right? Like, you kind of felt like at one point the game here shifted into Leah's
Oh
favor, and
my
then another
word.
point shifted into Charles' favor. Now we're at a stalemate, and we'll see how this swap over the red
That's 3
is going to
wilds.
work.
That's 3 wilds for Leah in this game, so that's a lot of
Yeah.
wilds.
Yeah, we only got one left, I believe. She's played 3 of them.
Nothing? Nothing from Sandfer? Is it blue, yellow too? 2 color?
What?
He's got to add something. I think he's holding here. I think he's got to hold. This is a huge play from Leah, but still nothing crazy, just clean. Sandfer still nothing. Leah for 3. Momentum back in her favor, just like that. Off a wild, wild control has been outstanding tonight. Art from Leah, as you're just joined back.
Yeah, like I'm looking back, and the last time we were in red, Leah made the jump over to the green. So yeah, you'd have to think there's some reds in reserve there for Charles. This is interesting.
Leah down to 3.
that-
Sandfer in a pickle right now. I'm not sure what to think here, Seth. This is an intriguing spot right now.
It is. Definitely is. Unless he's got specialty cards in red or something. I don't I don't know. I'm kind of in the dark with this one here. But if he's got something, he can't wait too long. Again, we've talked about timing. He may have something ready to go, but if he waits one turn too long, it's going to be for nothing.
He's going to go for it. Going to go into yellow, but that's a neutralizer. Leah for 2. Sandfer gambles here. Looking to get this down to an interesting point. Great gamble. This could be really weird. Is this?
Yeah, iced Leah there.
Could be weird, Seth. This could be blue and yellow for Sandfer, and this could be red and green for Leah. This could be true 2-on-2.
Now it just comes down to playing the right numbers to avoid the color swaps.
Sandfer now has down to 1 possession. Leah's trying to get this back into a 2-possession game. And there it is. We're tied. Sandfer for the lead. And it's defensive though.
Yep.
It's defensive. A defensive play from Charles Sandfer. What will Leah have? Still nothing. Leah for 6 now. Sandfer for 3.
Do we go back into the draw city? Does he have a 0 for the color swap? Does he still have yellow?
Sandfer right now trying to sort through the nothing.
Into
just
the draw city again.
Yeah, that 0 sugar set. That's always a key indicator.
Oh boy.
Well, let's see what Leah will have now. Now it's a case of, if you look at the CH tab, it's a good time to update it. I won't say what we have set, but everything's open on +2. There's everything. Free +2 board. That's nice.
Free +2. I think we've only had 1 +4 played so far in this.
Just the wilds is the only thing we're
Yep.
low on. That's it. All right now this is definitely one of the hardest. I think the hardest round 1 Sandfer's had to play in a long time. It's not every day as we go into a 56 where Sandfer's tested in round 1. Not every day.
Yeah, it's not every day, and that's usually a surprising factor here, is when Sandfer's got a tough opponent, and he's trying to fight with everything here just to do well, and right now we're seeing it.
Seth, right now this is a doozy one here for Charles Sandfer to figure out. He's got to make the right break, but it's risky to switch right now. It's risky. That's the problem with the +2s lingering. You can't make the switch. It could be fatal, and he knows it too.
Yep, for sure. And as you kind of pointed out, we're kind of looking like it's indicative of both of these players having 2 color hands. You'd have to think if there is, okay, now we get to swap over into the red.
That might be it. That might tie it up right here. Sandfer for a tie. He got it with
Oh,
a
he got it.
crazy
He
finish.
got what he
I
needed.
messed it up a little. I forgot to recopy for the third line, so I pasted the last two lines again.
So Sandfer, you were worried of a power play? Is that how I take it?
I was a little. So
Interesting.
there was a point. My hand was very painful.
Oh wow.
There was a point. My hand was very painful.
I almost, that's funny, man. What have you learned?
That was my hand on the red wild.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't throw plus. What is that with the plus? Yeah, I
Plus
get.
6
Yeah.
and draw.
Yeah,
And I'm just sitting here drawing like, give me just a yellow +2, please.
that's risky, Seth. That's where all the +2s were. That's for sure.
I was gonna say the mystery is solved. We know where they all were.
Yeah, Leah, did you have any +2s? That was interesting. We talked about the first two games. Your wild control was fantastic. I wouldn't say it was bad, but ultimately you threw it out there. You didn't want to save it. Were you just thinking, hey, let's keep running this down the wild? It had been working, and you just weren't adjusting to it? You were right. The draws were suspicious. You were right on that. I'll give you that. The read was right. Talk me through it.
I mean, right there, I'd say last game that was a lack of control on my part. This game was a lack of ability to have any other move sets. I mean, let me just show you something real quick.
Sure. Wait for that.
I was gonna say probably having. Oh.
Wasn't that the same thing? Deja vu set. That's the same as game one with all the greens. That was the reds. Yeah. Yeah.
It literally just came down to the fact of which red played, and eventually played the 5, which I think no.
No,
the
5.
2, that's what it was.
2, yeah,
the
red 2. Yeah, 2.
2 is what freed it up.
Yeah,
I didn't even have a 2 there. I don't know where you got the 2.
I'm not sure actually. That's kind of weird. None of those numbers match. That's I don't even know. I have to look back on that one. Seth, can you scroll back? That's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm checking back to see.
Nothing's matching right there. Someone's.
I think that was after the red 2 was played.
That was after the red, because I see it. It was on the yellow 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that defensive measure, right? And you think about it, Seth. That's a game winner. If Leah, because no one had a matching hand right there. If Leah just runs that red skip, maybe it was a little phase look. Who knows what we're talking about right here? It'd be a different story. It'd be Sandfer maybe down 3-1, or maybe Sandfer maybe gets the win. He has to burn up a power play because we know he's an instinctual guy. This just tells you micro margins. He didn't do nothing wrong, but sometimes when you went for the gap, it just didn't fire off. Sure.
Yeah, and Charles just needed that one bailout card to be able to get rid of those single +2s in 3 different colors, and that +4 was able to get him exactly what he needed in that regard. So yeah, to your point, nothing that Leah did wrong, just the circumstances there of what was on either side of the table. Leah wanted to stay in that red, Charles trying to get it over there and flush out the yellow. That just basically was the kind of the butting heads there, and that was the ultimate turning point.
40-man series so far. A lot. Sandfer's rallied back. We've yet to have a winner so far on a home.
Sandfer series. It's already 40 minutes. We're only in game 4.
Yeah, now about to take game 5. No one's won on home either. That's
Nope.
interesting. That's very interesting. We saw. Actually, well, speaking of Devil, we saw Ard's game. I'm pretty sure everybody won at home. It was only home. So now we have the opposite tonight. Is only on the road. We'll see how it goes here. Seth, what do you think? I'm going to get a water, so you're going to kind of take this stream, help me out a little bit while I get this water. What do you think some of the keys are now? We're in 2-2. Let me know while I get this water. Go for it.
I feel like some of the keys here, especially right now, is both players, both Charles and Leah, with being 2 apiece, they've shown that they've got the ability not only for the perfect timing and the color swaps and the number efficiency, but also I think as far as the patience for the ammo distribution. Maybe the slight mistake there for Leah in game 3, but aside from that, the ability to be able to get to a chain that they need. What I've found very interesting is the card distribution has not necessarily had it where both the players are able to play in a certain color. We've seen a lot of 2-color hands on both sides in a few of these games. So I think at this point in time, we're back at the stalemate. We're tied up 2-2. There's not really an advantage at this point in time. I guess if we're going with the statistics, the away player in this upcoming matchup has the advantage, but they've still got the power play as well, which is interesting with the fact that, here in this best of 7, next 2 wins is going to end up taking this series. Do you maybe think about utilizing that power play here on this game 5? Do you maybe wait until the very end? It's going to be interesting because there have been a couple of opportunities even here in games 3 and 4 where the power play could have been utilized and been able to help somebody get the win, and it's been kind of kept in the hip pocket. So we'll see if maybe here this early on in the 5th game, if maybe the power play is brought into use or not.
All right, I'm back. You go for it.
Yeah, I think, Seth, you just brought in a lot of good points there. And that's going to be one of those key things. But I do want to say here, the power play could be utilized just at the right time, at the right moment. And really, that's one of the big things here that people on their usage of power plays kind of don't do great on.
Well, we're talking about one of the best in the league set on power play usage. Sandfer, myself, we are some of the best in the leagues on this power play. We might see it on full display. Sandfer is one of the only guys in the league, though, that will use it in defense if needed. Here we go. Big game 5, Art. It's Sandfer's call. He just can't do the touchdown, double touchdown. What do we got? Game 5.
Yeah, Sanford, you can't do 7-14. How many?
Well, best of 3. Leah helped set it up for me. Let's go for 6.
Oh, boy. This is a special. The Sandfer special. You know he buffs it out when he needs to. Set the 6 Carter. Blue 0.
Lowest start we're going to have so far tonight. Lowest prior to that was 7, and Charles got his first win of the night with that.
If Sandfer wins this game, I do not see that happening, Art, against Myth. Myth loves low card starts. He needs plan A. Whoa!
Oh,
Well, we'll see, though. We'll see if that's probably the best starting card to have, though. That is the best starting card to have. Now Leah will be careful here. Does she want to play that blue 7?
Everybody wants to play the blue 7. Sean wanted to play it earlier at the beginning of the first game. Now Leah wants to play it. What's it with the blue 7 tonight?
Lane's playing tomorrow. Bot don't miss. I don't know.
Everybody loves the blue 7 for some strange reason.
Sandfer, I think, smart call to draw there, Seth. Maybe he's hoping Leah plays that 7.
It's an exciting card.
I guess it is. Looking for 5 cards. Here goes Leah. This game can go quick, Seth. Like I said, we're not used to this. You and me, I know for a fact. We're not guys to take. I don't think we ever take it that low unless it's rare. It's very rare for us to take it that low.
Yeah, you run the risk of getting yourself kind of cornered if you don't have the ammo cards to be able to string something together.
There it is.
Usually
okay.
It's these lower card games where we end up seeing a lot of the lengthy draw cities.
Sandfer back to 6. Leah looking for 4 now. Into that Yepes from Lane. 1 up this time in Chamek.
You got to wonder when Charles took the draw there, he was planning on the blue 7 being played to be able to swap over to the green.
Yeah, it's a little bit of instinctual stuff there are for sure. In the green 2 now.
Yeah, but that's gonna be something that might need to be looked at, but we'll see.
We'll look into it a little later. We'll find out. See if it works out in either favor. We'll find out. We'll plant now in the building here on the green 5. Sandfer +2 Caesar combo. And just like that, Sandfer is on the driver's seat back in the lead with 3. Leah back to 5. 2 extra cards, though, in the tank set. That's big.
Yeah, he just teeter-tottered it to his advantage now. See if that gave Leah any ammo. I mean, we're in a territory here where somebody could have a run.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a nothing from Sandfer, though. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now Leah ties it up looking for the lead. Oh, boo.
We've only played 2 colors. I was going to say, do we open up Pandora's box and bring in a 3rd color? There it is to the yellow.
Well, that's just taking a peek. We haven't fully opened it.
Sandfer in a yellow 3. +2 from Leah. Looking for it right here.
Man.
No, oh boy.
Oh no.
Saw
Oh,
this
boy.
earlier, Seth, with that double +2 into a draw. Nothing though. Well, somehow gets away with it. Crazy. That's that. Well, Sandfer, I think, did a good job right there, Seth. We know defensive power play exists in this league, and he didn't want to take the
Right.
chance. So that's a good move.
Yep, that was a very good move not to utilize it there.
No
We'll
need.
see if there's any swap. Okay, I was going to say, Leah's obviously out of the yellow if she maybe had a 3 to swap over to another color. So now Charles has it tied back up. He's going to have advantage here if he has something to play.
Sandfer just knows what to do, Seth. This is beyond my expertise. It's beyond beyond your expertise. These low card games, this is where we need to bring in captain or somebody who knows how to play this well. Us guys that are on 10 plus, we don't understand. For sure.
Not at all.
Sandfer the master at this. Let's see. Won't be here from Sandfer. Power play. I think he's just gonna. I think he's just gonna get the win and then take us home. KT Classic for the win. Can't afford to go. You can't afford to go down 3-2. I think it's a good move.
Yep. I wondered about if maybe we would see the power play used here in this 5th game, and there it is.
Yeah, we're going to game 6 right here. Sandfer's not going to mess up. There it is. I think that's the right move, Seth. Yeah, you have to use it. Sandfer, I think that's the right move. Right, you can't take him with you. Take the win. You know how to play the 6 card well. But I got to ask, man, was that +2 draw the ultimate decider? Was that +2 draw the lock and key combo to give you a little bit more momentum and just play a little more patience? Thoughts on that?
Honestly, it wasn't actually the worst play in the world.
Really? Okay.
At that point, I had yellow 3, wild skip. Or I had yellow 3, skip, and wild. That's what it was, because I'd already played the yellow 3. But I basically had the ability to do power play into the blue wild, I think, or something. It was something close to it. I would have been able to do the yellow when she drew. I would have been able to do like the yellow 3 into a power play, wild skip, something. I would have been able to figure it out at that point. But either way, it forced me to actually have to take a couple extra turns. In a way.
Okay, well, we'll go to Leah. Leah, the +2 you just heard from Sandfer right there wasn't the ultimate decider tonight. It wasn't, or that game wasn't the ultimate decider. He did a good job right there of just understanding the instincts. Was that a case of, you do play 7, so was that just a case of you were just thinking counter for the run, maybe just play a little defense right there, don't get into a, I guess, ammo war? Or what was the instincts on these 6 cards? It's hard to ask a question on a 6 card, even to this day. It's just not something we see every time. So talk me through that game. Give me a vision game.
Oh yeah, the small card starts are real tense. I mean, every game in the server is tense, but that's a different type of tense.
Yeah.
I think the +2 was just sort of a necessary defense mechanism at that point, because it was very possible at 3 cards that he could have comboed right into a win, and it turns out that was possible. So I feel like it was the only thing I could have done at that point. I didn't have any other like defensive cards at all.
All right, so just kind of fresh out of luck there, Seth. That's what happens on these 5 through 7s, right? You just sometimes 8 even. You just don't know where it will come. You don't know where the run will come. And looking at this game right now, Seth, 3-2. Sandfer finally gets one at home. Looking to close it out. No power play, right? It's the only thing I'll have a disadvantage on. But the stats right now, they've had pretty much even on +2s, pretty even on reverses. But right now, Sandfer getting some wild +4s, Leah getting a lot of wilds and skips for Sandfer. It's made a difference. Pretty plan A, B. I wouldn't say it's been a plan C, D, E, F, because we've only had 32 self-draws. Light switches are low from both. They're not one's the light switch. And the chains have been 6 or 7. Talk to me, what has been the overall thoughts in this first 5 games of this opening stands, and what do you think we're going to get for this last game? Maybe second to last game. We'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, with the fact that now Charles doesn't have the power play, it will be interesting to kind of see how he plays now, because prior to that, both Leah and Charles had the power play in their back pocket. Yes, he's got the advantage at 3-2, but very easily, depending on what the number is called for the upcoming draw, And with the power play still left for Leah, she could end up utilizing here to bring it into a game 7. So Charles is going to have to rely on what he's been able to do in his other previous wins in games 3 and 4, rely on hopefully having not only the number efficiency, but also the ammo to be able to put those chains together, hope that the card distribution works out in his favor as it has done for the last couple of games. And an interesting point I've noted, I was also kind of observing there, not only in what Charles said, but also in the gameplay that we saw there. You know, you mentioned, KT, that we're not all that well versed in what strategy you have to apply when it comes to the low card starts. I almost wonder if Charles, maybe at a 50% chance, was thinking, I'm going to have to use my power play at some point here in this game. I think he might have gone in already planning to utilize the power play, not only to gain the advantage, but also knowing that when you've got a low card start, you're going to really have to rely on the power play as well as the ammo cards to be able to get you to the finish, because it's really an odd distribution usually when you have anything less than usually a 9-10 card start. So we'll see if that utilization of the power play that got him the advantage, if that works out here. But it will be interesting to see, like, will we see the power play here in game 6? Does Leah utilize it? Because if Charles takes this next game, that power play is left null and void.
Art, it's all about the pressure now, right? When you're the underdog, we talk about smelling the upset. Now you got to get this into a game 7. Is there some desperation that sets in, you think, or do you think Leah can still play the start, right? At the end of the day, she's done 8, or she's done 7-14, so it's been the low end, and then we had the max end. We've yet to see an OG or full, right? We've yet to see that. We've yet to see a split down the middle 10, right? There's still a 12-pack out there, right? Oh, Baker's done. Where do you think Leah goes with the card start, and how do you think she can adapt to Charles Sandfer? Because Sandfer he's starting to find a little bit of efficiency on connectors. That's where ultimately Sandfer cooks. Talk to me through how Sandfer can try to escape the defeat right there, and how Leah can get back into control. Talk me through it.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. That's something difficult to even think about on that, because the amount of cards now that haven't been used can go in a lot of directions here that it's just hard to really pinpoint on where it should be used.
We'll see. Leah's got, power play left, and that's the big thing. That power play could come in big proportions, even if it's just to get to a game 7. Be a straight up fight. All right, it's Leah's call. This will be our last call tonight. Let's get her on. Art, do the honor.
Leah, you can't pick 8 or 11. So how many cards?
Show me 10.
Well, that's what I was saying. Split it down the middle, kind of. It's a good move. And it's Caesar +2. There he is.
Wow.
He won today. The bot does not miss. Telling you, man. Don't miss. What will it be now from Leah right here? Doing a good job so far all night, I think, Seth, despite win or loss. Definitely has given Charles Sandfer a 102-time winner now. Pushed him to the brink, for sure.
Yeah, it's not been a cakewalk for Charles by any stretch of the imagination. On the back foot early, down 0-2, been able to bring it back here in the last 3 games, but had to utilize the power play in order to do so.
Remember, for Sandfer, probably the biggest thing I have to say, Seth, when was that switch going to come in? He's always been the aggressor on the switching early. When he has confidence in the hand, that's something to note. Leah going to run into this pretty clean here. 8 cards now.
And you mentioned it too, that last win for Charles, the first win in this series for someone at home. So that snaps the 4-game streak of the away player taking the victory.
Back to green. Sandfer he's had some issues all night on this set with the greens. It's been the only thing that's kind of been weird in his arsenal.
He made the swap off of green. Did he still have some? Does he swap over to another color here?
Now he's thinking.
Efficiency?
Now he's thinking. He's got to think here. Good move. Think it through. Leah with power play, remember. Let's see what will it be here from Sandfer. Playing this one back a lot, you got to think, Seth, with Sandfer, he's got 2 options. He can he can find a little bit of a possible breakaway here, maybe, or does he think about putting a new color on the table? That's his two options, I think. That's what he's trying to weigh right now.
Yeah, I think he already kind of started on trying to do the breakaway when he had the blue skip into the blue 3, trying to get the number advantage there to kind of take away the advantage of the power play that Leia has. Now the question is, to your point, does he try and do that again? Does he have something to add more cards onto Leia? Because I feel like,
Nothing, just
okay,
simple.
just go play it there with the green too. Because I feel like the best way to take away that power play advantage is to have the advantage on card numbers in your hand, have the lowest amount, get yourself maybe a 2 or 3 card gap on the other person. But into the draw for Charles, this might be exactly what Leia needs.
It's that green. It's been the only thing that's been the kink in the armor. Plotting the armor all night, Seth and Ard. That green, he just hasn't been able to click on it, and that's the thing. Sometimes you can't click on all 4 colors, and you got to win on the 3 colors you're given, Ard. That's how it works. Play where it lies.
Yep. That's really something right there. It's kind of like playing a round of golf. You play where it lies, and sometimes it's either a good thing or it's a bad
That's a
thing.
classic right there. That's a T check right there from Sandfer early. Could be 2 things, Seth. Trying to bluff, or really has something on the bat. Leah's going to get worried right here. Maybe Sandfer's trying to
Leia
flush
made
that
the
power
swap
play.
off of blue to the green, so was she out of blue?
Sandfer also, maybe he's trying to play these wilds to flush that power play and neutralize the game.
Good point. Get that power play out of there. Yep.
Leah not in a bad spot here, though. This is what she could use right now, even sometimes. Thinking this one through. Now she'll start scrolling and trying to figure this out. What will it be from Leah? Looking to get this down to possibly 3 cards, maybe less.
Must have something, otherwise I think we would have seen an immediate draw.
Sandfer can't do anything on defense. He's just going to have to sit back and relax on this one. Yeah, Sandfer cannot do anything on this one. It's all power play. Well, this could be.
I was gonna say, I was wondering if she was maybe trying to formulate something here, figuring out when to do the power play.
Big moment here, Ard. What's it going to be from Leah? Looking for it. Ashley Wild, is this a finisher? +4. Here we go. Seth, this could be game 7. Double Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
That's interesting power play, man. That's an interesting power play, I have to say.
It is, but to be honest, I like it.
Oh, game's over.
Yep.
That was interesting because it never had the Uno. It fooled me. It fooled me. That's kind of funny. Okay, well, that's crazy. Well, sometimes you get burned on that, Art. Well, we're going to a game 7. Who would have thought Charles Sandfer Leah 2:15 goes to a game 7, but it will be Charles Sandfer's last call in a game 7. Let's go to Leah. Leah, actually, let's go to Sandfer first. Sandfer, you're content, man. You got to be content with that. You just said it, right? Burned the power play with that hand. Didn't really have much going. Were you just trying to flush that power play with the KT Wild? Was that what kind of the move?
Ironically enough, the play was going to be to switch to red.
So okay.
Because at that point, I had 4 numbers, a number that would connect to my final card, and I had 2 skips, so it would have been blue into a red skip, play a couple numbers, try again, a switch over. So
All right, we'll go over to.
It is what it is. I'm glad she burned it on that, because I wouldn't have been able to fight that type of a hand anyway with what I had.
No, definitely. It's been an interesting series so far. A lot of interesting ammo swings there in this game, Seth. But let's go to Leah. Unless you have a question, Seth, Leah. If you got one, go for it. Feel free.
Yeah, I mean, Leah, with the color swap there with the wild and then the utilization of the power play, Charles saying it's an interesting play. Honestly, I like it because I feel like we've talked about the timing of the game is everything. Was that just to make absolutely certain, just in case he might have had another wild in reserve, to swap it back to another color to make absolutely certain that you had control of the number that you wanted to have? Or the color you wanted to have, I should say?
Yeah, I just had to make it absolutely certain that there was no possible way I couldn't win that. When I saw I had because I started the game, my hand, with one regular wild and two wild plus fours, and I knew I was not going to let that go to waste. So I saved all of those until the last possible moment. I flushed out all my yellows, I flushed out all my blues, I flushed out all my greens, and I had the 5 card finisher in front of me. I was not going to even have the slight potential to throw that away at that point.
It's interesting. It is interesting. My question is now: this is your first game 7 all year. Usually, it's only been 6. You took your Pez to 6. This is your first 7 all year. No power. It's a straight up game. Do you feel confident knowing that you've taken the best player in this league statistically to 7? And how can you get this win? You're fighting for your D1 spot. What do you got to do in this game to buckle that? You have no control on the call too. That's something to note for sure. Talk me through it.
I'll say nervousness is through the roof. I think I'm just gonna have to play it by ear. I'm gonna have to see what he's doing. I'm gonna have to kind of save up my cards like I have been doing. My fatal mistake in game 3 was not saving what I had. That's gonna be the approach I have to go with if I want any chance of taking this home.
Sandfer, you've been in this position. I mean, so many times. I don't think I've really got to say much. But what's your final words before you get down to battle here? Before I ask the two guys here, Art and Seth.
I plead the fifth because I don't want to say it ahead of time.
All right. All right, Seth. So now we'll kind of take our, we try to get it, we'll rub a little salt there. But what do you think has been the biggest impression of this game? We all talked about, even the CPU talked about, this wouldn't be the best game, right? We've been proven wrong. Leah has definitely found a package that seems to have rubbed Sandfer, I wouldn't say the wrong way, but has given Sandfer some fits. Do you think it comes down to tonight timing? Is that last game going to come down to timing, or do you think it's something we have not seen? Maybe such as a number efficiency play, a double eight to finish the game. Do you think that will be the ultimate decider, or do you think it still is timing? The way it's going on stats too would indicate that.
Oh boy, I feel like we're going to have a little mingling of both, to be honest with you. I think the number efficiency is definitely going to come into play, but I think it's also really going to come down to timing because it has to, right? There's no power play to fall back on for either one of these guys now. They're going to have to rely on the timing. If they've got that final kill shot, they're going to have to hope that they end up firing first before the other one does, because this is it. This is for all the marbles. And to your point as well, with the fact that we've been able to have this go into a game 7, I said it before we even started the first game. This statistically, based off of the ranking, looked like maybe the most lopsided matchup, and it's taken us this far into a final game 7. I mean, we've seen games that have been even closer with ranking that have been sweeps. So the fact that Leah's been able to get this far, has been able to keep Charles honest. It hasn't been a runaway by either one by any stretch of the imagination. It's been very competitive, very back and forth, and we're heading into, I feel, a very equal-footed game 7 here between the two, despite the difference of experience between both of them.
Let's go to the man that just played a game 7. Unfortunately, on the short end of the stick last night. Art, how do you approach this? You're the one of the 3 people, I believe. ALP actually as well was in a game 7 on this new bot. Of course, we had Abion, but that was way different. Abion, I think, just lost control. You never lost control. In fact, you were sharp as a whip. I'm pretty sure you called out Peter on a potential game winner. How do you approach a game 7 on this bot? You're one of the, other than you and ALP. ALP just happened about an hour or two ago, couple hours ago. How do you approach the game 7 this bot? Do you think it just comes down to the start, or is there something out there lurking for us to see? You're the most recent guy on a game 7. Let us know.
That is maybe one of the interesting things to look at here. It's not about when is it time to make the move. It's just when is the point in making the move. There's something here that a move can happen at any certain point, and it's the difference of either making it to the next round, or either your season or D1 hopes ending here.
Super League hopes will end for Sandfer. He loses. Leah will lose her D1, at least temporary spot. There is a relegation tournament. Something's got to give. It's game 7. It's Sandfer's call, Art. Tell him what he can't do. Let's get down to business. Game 7.
Sandfer, you can't pick 6, 7, or 14. How many cards?
Well, the bot's been pretty even so far. I'm going to just have to kind of hope that it's even again here in game 7. I got just 2 words for you.
Full send. Yes, sir.
It's gotta be.
You
It's
gotta,
gotta be.
gotta
Come
be
on.
doing it for the fans, baby. Come
For
on.
the Game 7, you gotta.
Hunter.
Hey, so all Sandfer wants to do is send it. Okay,
What?
you
What?
got your wish.
What?
All right then. We got Fitzy. Fitzy, that's perfect timing. Incredible.
Fitzy shows up at the right point.
Thank you, Fitzwater. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Fitzy.
Well, Sanford, you're gonna have to laugh at that one because it was Fitzwater to start us off, and Stingray, another guy.
Kind of funny. Not gonna lie.
That was an interesting comment and a half tonight. But let's get back to the action. All right, Seth, we got to start thinking now. Right here, the tension's building. Right, Sanford's been here so many times. It's almost like drinking water for him. Leah, this is uncharted. She's in the deep end of the pool with a bunch of blood around. How do you compartmentalize what's about to happen here if you're Leah? Right, never been in this spot.
Yeah, I think, definitely both players going to have to keep themselves mentally in this one now. Can't let the butterflies get to him because you guys touched on it. There's something at stake for both of them, for Leah to stay in the D1, for Charles to advance into the Super League. I mean, this is, in essence, a must-win Game 7 for both of them, not just to advance into the next round of the tournament, but it's got other ramifications as well. So we've seen them cool, calm, and collected up here in these first 6 games. Let's hope they can keep it the same way here in this final one.
Sanford, double Stingray to start off early yard, pretty clean. I don't expect anything to crescendo for a while. It's 15 cards. It's going to take a while. More Dolly Parton action.
Another 9-5.
You got to think, Art, there's going to be a time and a point where if you're late here, you have to look at 2 things, right? We talked about ammo and timing, but I think another thing as we go into the yellow too that we haven't seen, knowing when to play the right numbers on efficiency. I know it's a little harder in this league, or in this tournament without the CH, but you got to find a little backdoor instinctual moves to get that win. I think this is something Leah's going to have to find in the reserve tanks to try to beat Sanford, who's really good at those looks. Just like that in the Brad.
Yep. It's going to be maybe the key factor here.
Seth, early switch from Sanford. This has been a trend all night. Switch it early, see where it lies.
Yep. Hope that kind of puts the other person on the back foot. The thing you don't want to do, though, is box yourself out and not be able to continue on in that color, end up having to go into draw city, because right now, both of them pretty even. Charles with the 1-card advantage. And you talk about that number efficiency. We've yet to really see here tonight anybody win a game on number efficiency at the end. It's either come down to those big crescendos at the end, or a couple of times just swapping over to the wrong color.
We'll see. This is an interesting point for sure.
If ever there was a game that was going to come down to number efficiency, you get the feeling it'd be this game.
It would have to come down. Usually Game 7's the last one. Taking a minute right now for... It's taking a minute for Leah here, Seth. This is interesting. I'm just trying to look. I mean, there's nothing really to write home about CH-wise, so this is interesting. Kind of more of a pace management thing.
Yeah, they both played it clean in yellow, played it clean with the swap over to blue. You get a feeling maybe... there it is. I was going to say, you get a feeling maybe another color swap coming up in the near future, and there it is over to the green. Do they run clean here?
All about making those reads now, man. That's what it's about. These reads have to be crisp and clean. You talked about the golf earlier you mentioned. What club are you going to choose for about a 100-yard shot, right? You have a couple options. You probably could get away with a small 3-iron, right, if you had that amateur club. But maybe you just go for a 4-iron because you got a headwind coming from you about 30 miles per hour at St. Andrews. I don't know. This is an interesting point right here.
Yeah, and that's just the interesting thing here about this point. You don't know where the ball may lie here with this one.
100 yards? I'm just putting from there. Why not?
100 yards? Yeah, you never know. A little putt there.
Just let that thing fly. Why not?
Let it fly on a putt. We'll see. We'll see what's... Yeah, well, that welcome to the league, Leah. This league, we talk about it all the time. Stream games, man, are Whole different animal.
And those 15 card starts, there's like 2, 3, 4 different paths that you can take, and you have to make sure you take the right one.
Regardless, said you gotta think, if it drags Charles Sandfer out to an hour, it's one thing when somebody like Tapir does it, or somebody like in the past, myself played Sandfer. It wasn't an hour, but it was a long game despite being a fight. It's one thing when we do, but when a 15 seed does it, walks up in here to the 100-time winner, this bot's made a difference. It's definitely leveled the playing field to where I think everybody's going to have to readapt. There's no advantage like in the past for sure.
Definitely, and you look at the type of play that Leah has done here tonight, regardless of if she ends up winning or losing. If she is on the losing side, it's one of those kind of games that you can look back on, and it doesn't really feel like a loss. You've taken your opponent to the absolute limit. You've played efficiently, so win, lose, or draw for Leah. She's had an unbelievable night here. Definitely was on the as far as the odds, probably on the lower side as far as the seeding and everything. The fact that we've had a 15 rank be able to take a number 2 this far into Game 7, into this full set. I mean, they're almost at even cards right now. I mean, this has literally been down to the wire. Been really good with the utilization of the power play there to counter Charles' power play back in Game 5. So, yeah, tremendous credit to Leah for what she's been able to do here. And it's one of those where we're kind of just sitting back and watching to see what happens. We're calling what we see, but it's kind of hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They know what they've got in their hands, but you're still waiting for that ammo to come out here. We've still continued to play clean in the yellow, blue, and currently in the green.
Well, there's the blue. There we go.
There we go.
Back to that blue. Let's see.
Is that a check, maybe?
That's an early check, and I think Leah would be suspicious. That is an early check.
Whoa, but she had blue. Interesting, because she made the swap from the blue to the green.
Sandfer maybe a little bit early on that? I don't know. Or is he just going to be, you know what? Test him. Test him out. See what's good here. Right, test him out. Good move. Defensive on the zero sugar. Try to keep it boxed in.
We've seen no ammo played here, and we're down to 7 and 8 cards.
Wow.
Dare I say that we are into potential chain to win territory because there's so many possibilities right now that could be there for ammo distribution.
Anything can happen, Seth. It usually does, right? That's how the old adage works. Play where it lies. We talked about Murphy's Law in this league. Anything can happen right now. A possibility of a 7-bagger. This bot's been really fair all night, but it's Game 7. Nerves kick in. There's no such thing as bot fairness on a Game 7 usually. It all comes down to how's your nerves, how's that resiliency. Leah taking her time now.
Yeah, you hit it right with that one. It's just, that's how interesting it is. That
Cody Lamas has appeared. Here we go.
Ooh.
We got Llamas in the building. Oh boy, this is what things are good when Llama shows up.
Sandfer did switch off the yellow though. Remember
Exactly.
that.
So this is a check play from Leah.
2 checks in the building right here. 2 wilds out. We're 7 apiece. What will Sandfer do right here? Goes for a yellow skip and a blue. It's end around. 100%. 100% end around. Smart move. Smart move. That's just saving it. That's just the knowledge, right, of knowing when to do it. But it will say it did flush out Sandfer's possible yellow strategy. So we'll see if Leah has something else in the tank cooked.
But it also was smart of him holding on to that yellow skip because it got him back around to the blue that he originally wanted.
Yeah, unless he picked the wrong number, this is smart play, Art. I think this is what he needed.
Yeah, it was.
What will Leah do? Unless Leah's got a +4 or something, or a +2 that we have not seen yet. That's the one thing we're missing. I think this is a smart play. Sandfer now, he's starting to get closer to that driver's seat. +4, I think that's the right move, Seth. You just can't afford it. You can't afford it. It can happen. Too risky. Look for 4 right here.
You don't have the power play to fall back on. The +4 is your opportunity to be able to get that advantage back. I'd like the play as well. You've now got yourself down at a 2-to-1 ratio in terms of card number. Question is now, does Charles, with what he got there with the 4 cards, does he fire back, try and draw it back even again?
It's either that or Seth. I think he's got the one advantage though. That blue, I think, is exactly what he's looking for. He's got to find a way to get into that blue. I think that's the big thing with Sandfer. He likes to test too. He's known to test. Remember, no power plays, so he can test it all he wants here and be safe. He's just gonna not take the risk, right? Just get back to that blue, do it the old-fashioned way, reset it again. 5-10, so now it's 2-1 in favor of Sandfer. Back and forth seesaw action, Art. Here we go.
Yeah, a little tit for tat there, right? They flushed out the wilds earlier. They've both now flushed out a +4. Bit of an offensive defensive play going there, a little back and forth.
Oh boy.
Oh wow, even with the 6 cards that Leah got, didn't get anything in the blue.
Well, that might help though. That's going to help, Seth. We have not seen red at all. That might be a different type of jailbreak. Leah could be in a good spot here. Question is, does Leah Does Leah have anything here on ammo? Because now it comes down to, with red, you can see +2s. There could be some skip trains. Do you risk a switch? What's it going to be?
Or could Leah get herself back to the green, which is what she tried to get to before Charles swapped it over to the blue?
Nothing there. Nothing there.
Just the 5. Cool. Okay.
This is exactly what Sandfer needs, I think. Yeah, he needs the red. He's cooking on it now. Back to yellow. Whoa.
Yellow.
That's interesting. Sandfer wanted the yellow on the skip, but then he faded off. Huh?
It was well fought.
Is that it? There it is. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. He saved the yellow skip. That was it. Great move there from.
Even if she kept it on red, because then it was red reverse, yellow reverse skip. So.
Yeah, I think the only shot would have been blue or green or something. Yeah. Oh, wild. Well, let me go to Sandfer. Sandfer, you survived, man. I don't think that was easy tonight. That was. You were supposed to be walking through this gate and just winning this game. I mean, I sat in the pot. I thought this would be 4-0. I really did. I had egg on my face there. You pulled through for me there, but geez, what was the difference ultimately in that last game 7? Do you think that first +4 shot was able to work in your favor, or do you think the wild plays where it was just tit for tat ultimately was the difference, where you could just read that better with the experience in game 7s?
I guess you could say as a little bit of misfortune. When Leah played the +4, it gave me the +4.
How do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you keep going? You're good.
No, that was just like, so it's like just yeah, that kind of was it.
I got you. And how do you move forward now? Now you're playing a guy that you would think's better, right? In a sense that all he does is plan A. Myth is plan A, right? You get him to plan B, it's usually over. Do you think that's more of your wheelhouse now? We know Myth does play low starter, but how do you see Myth? This is a rematch 2023, all the way back about 15 months ago now.
Yeah, it is a rematch. Actually, it's the first series one I had, so I know he's probably looking for at least a little bit of revenge. With the new bot, I mean, maybe a little bit of have to try and reanalyze, just to see what he's gonna bring. I know what he does in terms of at least like the card starts, so I'm gonna have a leg up on that. The difficulty tonight basically was when I looked up what Leah tries to do. I noticed that basically she's all over the place just like I am. So it kind of was a situation. We were both going to go all over the board, and you see it right there. I mean, 8, 11, 7, nothing's repeated at all. So, well fought. I kind of knew that the card starts were going to be even in terms of what we were both wanting to do, and I'm just glad to come out on top for it tonight.
I appreciate those thoughts. We'll go over to Leah. Leah, obviously a great series, probably your best series of your career. I mean, you played the most decorated player in this league, a 103-time winner now. You took him to the brink. You only maybe will regret. I think Seth and I can agree. Probably the biggest regret might have been that game 3 where you could have easily had a 3-0, and this could be a different story. But other than that, your overall expectations and what did you learn tonight, despite the loss?
Yeah, I'll say I'm pretty proud of how this went. You hit the nail on the head with I'm pretty disappointed in Game 3 specifically. Really threw out all my stuff a bit too early there, but other than that, this was a really incredible just game to play. Had a lot of fun, and if I had to take a lesson away, I think just what I was keeping up with most of my games there, hold on to my ammo when I've got it. I think that's a surefire way to improve my chances when I'm playing against other people. And but regardless of minor failures here and there, like incredible game. Thank you, Sam, for congrats on winning, and I'm glad we had such a fight.
All right, we'll go over to Seth Cole. Appreciate those thoughts for final thoughts along with Sean. Seth, I think the lesson here, man, is anybody can win. Obviously, you got the short end of the stick with Allen, who I think is a different type of player, right? There's been a lot of documentation on Allen. He's had a rough year, and Caesar and I knew him from the past in No Victory Lane server. We knew he was willing to. He's not a whatever seed. We knew he's a good player, but tonight this was unexpected, right? Leah was for the most part, a 61st, 60th, 58th ranked player. Probably just got her best finish of her career against Sandfer. Talk to me through, in my opinion, what was her best game of her career, and how does Sandfer survive, and how does he prepare for a guy in Myth who all he does is 6'7", 5'8". That's it. I mean, that's all Myth does. He only does low card stuff. So we'll see how this one goes. But thoughts on just Sandfer tonight getting that win, right? 100 career wins now 103, and Leah with her performance. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it there from Charles saying that when he was doing the scouting, and even we saw it here, even up down to this final game, the play styles between he and Leah very similar. And you talk about that game with me and Alan as well. While it wasn't to a game 7 situation, I kind of felt like it was the same kind of deal there, where his and my play style were very, very similar. And that makes it so difficult to be able to strategize, because you're almost playing yourself. How
Right.
do you strategize playing against yourself when you're going to just kind of almost mirror each other's moves? And I think that's why we end up seeing this draw into a game 7. When I started out here in this league, went up against people like Fitzwater, yourself, other people that have been in this, that have been high-ranking players. And I say this all the time. Iron sharpens iron. You go up against these experienced players. You mentioned Charles, the most decorated player right here in the series. This is the best game that Leah has played. With the experience that she's had in the other series, to be able to apply it here and take Charles to a game 7, I'm telling you what, when we start up the new tournaments, keep an eye on Leah, because the experience that she's been able to get up to this point, and including here tonight, definitely going to be a formidable opponent. On Charles' side, I mean, what more can you say? We saw here tonight, classic Charles Sandfer, utilizing the power play exactly when he needed to, getting the momentum shift when he needed to. I mean, down 0-2. Who had that on their bingo card coming into tonight with what we saw as far as the player rankings? Being able to utilize that power play, have the advantage going into that game 7 as well, with fleshing out the power play that Leah had, keeping it an even keel game, and then, as we saw there, having that crescendo at the end, keeping it the 2 color, having the path whether it was in red or in yellow. We saw Charles advance into the Final Four in the last tournament. I feel like he's going to go very far here in this tournament as well, and of course, as we documented as well a couple of games ago, this is going to help Charles be able to hopefully hurdle over that cut line to be able to get into Super League, depending on how far he makes it here in T5.
Well, Sandfer's a big resume guy. He knows it's a quad 4 win. He's still got work to do. He's looking forward to mid top 25 guy. But let's go to Art. Art, obviously, this is a warning shot, right? Obviously, we don't know about what's going to happen with Leah, right? Of course, we'll have to go to relegation tournament. But I think it's kind of a shame, though. I think about this, Art. What if we had started on this bot this year? Because I'm telling you, you've had mentioned it. Caesar has mentioned it. I know Seth. The way the cards are organized, I know it's a little detailed. The way it's organized, you start to wonder, these back-end players, what if they had this organization at the beginning of the season? I think the way the cards are organized, where the cards are bold played, you can make precise moves. It's leveled the playing field thanks to Grim, right, with the UX and the UI, thanks to my vision as well. When I set out to do this league, I wanted an in-house platform to really give the players, bring it back in the player's hand. And if somebody that has no series wins in their career can almost take the guy has 18 series wins in his career to the brink, we've done something right. The mission accomplished. The bot has been great, at least on stream games. Non-streams has been different, but stream games have been different. What is your takeaway, not from this game, but from the first 5 days of this tournament? What have you learned so far from a spectator and host and commentator? Talk to us through, Art.
I think what we've been seeing is what we wanted to get out of this new bot. And it has provided maybe some of the greatest action that we have been waiting on throughout this whole year. We haven't gotten any great action before here, and now it's finally gotten the T5, and we got the action that we wanted to see. Man, I think this just makes me feel bad for all those people that had a chance in a lot of those series and couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and it's none of the doing, right, Seth? We started on the old platform back in March, and basically when you have 85% of the season, right, 90% of the season, because this isn't the full version of the bot, on one platform, it's hard to go into the next tournament, which was T5, and just say we're going to turn it around. But for Sandfer and Leah at the same time, both to put on a show night for the fans, we didn't think this would be a game. Even Ghost Monaco, yes, I mean, everyone was saying, Ghost, it's over, right? He's got it. But even he had a sweat. I think it just shows you when you put the right tools and a little bit of labor of love in a platform, you can make the difference, right? And that's what it's all about. We always talk about it, Seth, you're a big racing guy. Put it back in the driver's hands. Put it back in the players' hands. I think tonight that's the perfect example. It's back in the players' control, which is what you love to see. Any final thoughts, man, to close us out?
Yeah, it definitely puts it back in the player's control, and you know, too, really, at least, and this was for me personally, it wasn't that difficult of a transition from the old bot over to the new bot. If anything, the new bot kind of made things a little bit easier, and there was plenty of opportunities as well for people to get themselves acclimated to this new bot in preparation for T5 as well. So yeah, putting it back into the player's hands for sure. A lot more I felt available as far as bells and whistles here with this new bot as well, to be able to plan that strategy, plan those runs and everything accordingly. I've mentioned this as well. Seems like much faster paced games as well. You're able to think 1, 2, 3 steps ahead depending on what your opponent plays, because of the organization of the cars by color and by number. We didn't have that back with the old bot, so you kind of had to organize it all in your head and then formulate the strategy. So it's definitely helped, I think, for everybody to not only be able to strategize a lot easier, but it's also helped the ebb and flow of the game also.
I think that's what it's all about, the ebb and flow of the game. I don't think anybody thought, like you said, she would take it 7 against Charles Sanford. Proved everybody wrong. I think G was the only one that said maybe 6, but we'll see. Let's go into that pod. Obviously, it's not updated, but this is confirmed now. Obviously, it was confirmed earlier today. We wish Drip the best, right? It's not on the screen, but Drip, unfortunately, could not make it this tournament, so he's out. MGR moves on to play JT, which will be at the next round. And Sanford keeps home. Barely survived tonight in what was a doozy of a game. I think he's learned a lot. He's going to reanalyze the play myth, a rematch of 2023, all the way back after that dark loss. So let's see what he can do in that rematch game. And the schedule, we do have one more game going on. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We're going to try to get that one in tonight. We're going to see if we can get Tal to talk to M and Ypez. If not, we might just have to reschedule. We have been shot. We started the day at 12:30. And it's almost 10. So I don't know if we're going to do it. I'll see. I know M is available, and Ypez, I think, is after 8. So we might reschedule that, and we'll see if we're on. It's been a long day in the league. I know Ypez doesn't want to hear that, but I think it's better just to not rush it and have KT half asleep. I am definitely wiped. Seth is wiped. So appreciate us at least trying. We'll try to get that game in at some point. Leah Sanford will give quotes. I want to thank Seth for commentating. Ours, the ref, the homie, appreciate him. And, of course, ALP, they coming in, despite the loss, staying with us to see his buddy Sanford, Cody Smart, Nam, Nick. I know Zay was here. Ypez, I think somebody else was here. Appreciate them. One last congratulations to both Leah and Sanford. An incredible job for Leah. No one thought she'd even take this remotely close to 7. Appreciate her for coming out here. We'll see her in the relegation tournament come soon. I'm not sure when that will be. Probably a couple weeks. And then for Charles Sanford, one last time to the Master Chef. 103-time career winner in the regular season. He'll look for 107 when he plays Myth and tries to get the win there. And he's also, ironically, over 170 starts now, too. Sanford just racking him up. We'll see if he gets the road to 200 on starts and becomes the first guy in that club as well. For all of us at Uno MRE, thank you. We'll have a tomorrow stream game for sure with Lane with G. And I'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock with H and Yoshi. Have a great night, everybody.